This is a full showcase of every single essence in Divine Duality. But guys, before I continue with the video, if you want a game pass of your choice, all you have to do is like, subscribe, watch to the end of the video, and then comment down below your Roblox username and what game pass you want. Now let's actually get started with the showcase. First off, we're going to showcase None, which is pretty obvious and doesn't have the best moves since it's what you start with. The E ability, which just hyper punches you basically across the globe. And I do have hitbox on, so you will be able to see what happens. And then there's the R ability, because that was the E. Hits you up really high and throws you back down. There is currently not an F ability. Now let's actually get into the real essences. Now it's for water. This is what water looks like on your arm. And now this is the E ability. It shoots a giant water blast, as you can see. Now for the R ability, it actually hits your opponent and gives you health back to help you regenerate. And then this, yo, what just happened? Okay, one sec. The admins are trolling me as they're giving me everything. Oh, and teleport back to the actual showcase. This is the F ability. It has a giant water pool and actually pushes your opponent into the air. And now for fire. This is what fire looks like on your arm. This is the E ability. It shoots basically like a rocket of fire at your opponent. This is the R ability. It shoots them up in the air with some fire, like tornado type thing. And then this is the F ability. It shoots you up in the air yourself and you come back down and slam down. It leaves a burning effect that actually burns the opponent, and even lasts for a couple seconds after going away. And now for wind. This is the E ability. It shoots just like a giant wind beam at someone and it explodes once it hits the actual target. Also with the E ability, if you hold it, it actually powers up and becomes larger and also does more damage. For the R ability, if you use it and while you're in the air you press it again, it slams you back down to your opponent as they're falling to the ground. What was that? Oh, Sarcasm just over there trolling. Oh, see, he's showing us how to do it. Yeah. And this is the F ability. It takes a little bit to wind up, but ends up shooting a giant tornado at your opponent and bring them around and then ragdolling them onto the ground. And now for Earth. This what it looks like on your arm, looks like a whole bunch of rocks. And this is the E ability. Oh, he's still going. This is the E ability. So basically just shoots some rocks at you and boosts your opponent up in the air slightly and does some damage. Now for the R ability, it pushes you up in the air, surrounds you by rocks, and put on rock armor, which reduces the damage you take. And now for the F ability, you get a giant rock hammer that then slams down to hit your opponent. Now for sand. This is the E ability. It shoots basically like a giant sandworm around you, and it slows you around whenever you're trying to walk. Now for the R ability, it shoots a giant dust storm at the opponent. And now for the F ability, it creates a giant ball of sand that then captures your opponent, kind of like the Gar move if you ever have watched Naruto. Now onto smoke. This is the E ability. It pushes some smoke at you while dealing some damage, and it keeps going for a while. This is the R ability. You get to fly around, get your opponent in a chokehold, and hold them there for a couple of seconds. And then for the F, it creates a giant force field of smoke. They can walk around and they can barely see you except for a couple after images. And while they're in there, it also does damage to them. And now we're getting into the slightly better essences, the rare essences. The first one we're going to showcase is lightning. This is the E ability. It shoots out lightning from the sky and damages your opponent. And now for the R ability, you dash at them with lightning and it also stuns them for a little bit, I'm pretty sure. This is definitely the best lightning ability. It's the F ability. It shoots an orb at them, so whenever they try and walk, they will end up falling. Oh, maybe they got rid of, oh, see. Once they leave, they fall on the ground and it stuns them. And while they're in there, it does also do damage. And now for poison. This is the E ability if you don't hold it down at least. You can throw poison at them and then it lasts for a couple seconds as they're standing around it. But if you're holding it, it stays there for longer and creates a whole bunch more poison and shoots several at them at a time. And I'm pretty sure I haven't tested this, but if you keep it up, you can actually aim them across like that. Yes, see how cool that is? You can have several shooting from one ability. The poison E is honestly very overpowered. Speaking about overpowered, the R ability is also pretty overpowered. You dash at them with a poison dagger and slice them with it to poison them. And then it will obviously do poison damage, which so does every single move with poison. It has poison damage. And now for the F ability. As you can see, it creates a giant poison smoke that follows you around so you can follow after your enemy. And if you leave them, it even chases after them. See, when you hit them with it and move away, there's still a hitbox around them because they're still getting damage. And now we're moving on to metal. And this one's honestly a pretty cool essence. This is the E ability. It shoots a saw at them and it even leaves them with a little bit of a bleeding effect that also does damage. And now for the R ability. This drops a giant tungsten cube down on them to hit them. And this one's actually a pretty cool essence. Just wait until we get a little bit farther into it. And that's the ball that just fell down. That does more damage just overall, and the tungsten cube that like stuns them. And then the F ability has a giant fist that then smashes down on them. And when you have this around you and then use the E ability, 3 will shoot out instead of just 1. And then also give you a defense buff. And now we're going on to energy. This is the E move for energy. It shoots a blast of energy towards them and does damage. And then the R move, it shoots a whole bunch of like energy balls around them and then it can attack them. But if you use it from far away and then they run into it, it will also attack them, which I will show you right now. So if I use that over there, and then if my alt runs near them, they will all just start attacking them. So you can set up bombs basically and traps. And then the F move, you go up in the sky with a giant ball of energy and slams it back down at them. It obviously does damage by high key mist, but that doesn't really matter, it's fine. And now we're going to showcase the cloud, which is actually a fusion that you can have. This is the E ability. You jump up and slam back down. It does have a decent amount of range, but it also does some AoE damage like all around. And then this is the R ability. You have 2 clouds, a Nimbus and a normal cloud, that actually goes through an attack. The Nimbus cloud stuns if you're close enough, and this one just does consistent damage unless you're too far away. So you have to be semi-close to use this. And now for the F ability. It spawns a giant cloud that actually follows you around slowly but surely and does damage to anyone near you while also healing you, which is very overpowered. For now it's time for combustion. This is the E ability. It shoots down a whole bunch of little atomic sized bombs and then blows them up. This is the R ability. It shoots you up in the sky so you can fly, and then you jump down and does damage below you. So you actually have to be decent with the flying mechanics of combustion. It can be kind of hard to use, especially the R ability. And then this is the F. It shoots basically a bomb near them and does a ton of damage. And even flies them in the sky, applies a burning effect. And to keep on the fusion route, now we're going on to magma. This is the E ability. It shoots down a magma like ball, and it splits into 3 magma pools. If the player stands on it, will apply a burning effect and deal damage, and even when they go away, they're still burning from the magma. And then this is the R ability. It shoots down giant magma bombs going down, and it goes pretty far, and also makes those lava lakes once again. And now this is the F ability. It shoots down a giant magma axe that then makes a slit in the earth and starts spewing out magma, kind of like a volcano. And it honestly keeps going for a decent amount of time. See, it's still going. Now we're going on to the glass essence. This is the E ability. It's 2 giant sheets of glass that slam together. And now this is the R ability. It's a giant cube that they can only break by using their essences against it, which will basically waste one of the opponent's moves. See, you have to waste a move just to be able to break it. So it's really good if you're going against divines, which have really long cooldowns. And then there's the F ability. It shoots you in the sky and has a whole bunch of shards of glass, which then once again leaves a bleeding effect that does quite a bit of damage over time. Now we're going on to the epic essences. The first one we're doing is the light essence. This is the first move. It's the E move. It shoots a blast of light at your opponent. And then there's the R ability. It basically teleports you using light and it hits your opponent. Once again, pretty simple. The F ability is kind of OP though. If you use F, you are hit in this giant area of attack. It does 5.5 for at least my level. And as long as they are in this area, they're constantly getting attacked. Light's pretty simple. Now we're going on to the dark essence. This is the E move. It's basically dark spikes come out of the ground and hit you and leave you with a bleeding effect once again. This is the R move. It lets you fly basically, and you can attack your opponent, which also leaves him with a bleeding effect and does damage when you attack him with it. And then this is the F ability. You basically absorb anyone in this red area, and it does constant damage to them and even stuns them. And once the ability stops, you get health based off the amount of damage that you did. So it also heals you after using the ability. Now it's time for one of my personal favorite essences. It is the Frost essence, which I used to main a lot. This is the E ability. It shoots a giant ice spike and even freezes them for a couple seconds, not very long since it is just the E ability. And it's the R. You stomp down and shoot ice at your opponent and then freeze them. While that ice is up, they cannot move. And then this ability is also pretty overpowered. It shoots down ice and freezes them solid. As you can tell, oh, they're kind of going crazy a little bit. And now it's time for the sound essence. This is the E ability. It shoots you at them and does a sonic wave attack. And then this is the R ability. It basically just shoots a giant sound beam that has a pretty good AoE around them. F ability is pretty good. It shoots basically like a radio at them, and anyone in this area will be taking damage. Now we're going back to fusions, and we're going to be showcasing the Storm Essence, which is obviously the one on my left hand. The first one, you jump up in the sky and then shoot down basically like a lightning bolt to harm your opponent. This is the R ability. It basically creates a giant storm cloud, and if you get close enough to them, it'll kick them and stun them as they're being flown all the way around. And then last but not least, this is the F ability. It shoots up a giant ball in the sky and it creates this like kind of like storm thing where they can barely see and they're getting damage done to them, and whenever they try and walk, they actually get like ragdolled and like flown on the ground. Next up is the nuclear essence, which is the cool one on my right arm over here. It's definitely one of my favorite looking on the arm. This is the E ability. It's basically just a giant nuclear breath that attacks anyone nearby and leaves them with basically like radiation because it does damage afterwards also. And then this is the R ability. Basically just shoots giant nuclear like bomb at someone. And then once again, last but not least, this is the F ability. You basically turn into the nuke yourself and then blow up, and then anyone around them also has some damage done to them. It does a decent amount of damage the longer that they are in there, like 7.7 to 8.8. Now we're on to the plasma. This one, I'm pretty sure you can just roll, I think. No, this one's a fusion, I'm pretty sure. This is the E ability. It shoots basically like a plasma cannon at you. This is the R ability. It teleports you to them while also spawning a clone that then follows after your person. Then when you press R again, it blows up and does damage to your opponent. It will follow your opponent around as they move also. And then this is the F ability, a giant plasma bomb thrown at someone, and this is a plasma area around them that does damage also. Now it's time for the speed essence, which can't actually be rolled or fused or evolved, any of that. It actually has to be found in the little raid things. I forgot what they're called. This is the E ability. It shoots you basically really fast at them. There's almost no dodging that. If you want to increase the duration, you can actually hold it down and it'll show you how far it goes. And then this is the R ability. It's basically a giant area that you can run around really fast in, and basically no one can see you. And now for the F ability. Basically you get to fly around as fast as you want, and it brings them with you and it does a circular motion. It does a whole bunch of cool stuff. It can even run around fast. And now we're going on to the evolutions. This is the Inferno essence, will be the first one we're doing. This is the E ability. Dashes you at them and does some damage to you when they punch you with the Inferno. This is the R ability. You can hit them with it, fly around and slam you into the wall, and you can use it again to shoot a little beam at them. So it can actually be used twice in one cooldown cycle. And then this is the F ability. It's pretty cool. Boosts you up in the air and then you sling down a giant beam at them. And they basically can't move out since they just can't. It'll like ragdoll them. And it does damage afterwards too. Now we're going on to the Cyclone essence. This is the ability. It shoots you up and it does a little damage and brings you towards a certain area, which is pretty good for combos and stuff like that. And then this is the R ability. It basically creates that, which then it will blow up once if it's still near you. It creates that little ball of cyclone. And now this is the F ability. It shoots you up kind of like the first one, but it drags you around and you can just walk around with them. And it pushes them away to give you some distance while also stunning them so they can't immediately come after you. Now we're going on to the Arcane Essence, which is another one of my favorite ones since I used to main this a lot too. This is the E ability. It shoots them after and actually locks one of your opponent's moves so they can't use it. But once the chains go away, that means their ability is back. And then this is the R ability. It just gives you basically a buff. It gives you increased damage, which is pretty good. And then the F ability, which is pretty good. If you're anywhere around that area, it will trap you here and they can't move. So you can just use as many abilities as you want while they're trapped there. And now for the Aether Essence. This one I haven't really used much, but let's see. This is the E ability. It basically shoots like fireworks at you. Pretty good, not the best. And then there's the R ability, which you basically do like a little backflip type thing and shoot some Aether orb at them, which then blows up, as you can probably tell. And now for the F ability, which does this giant thing. It does damage to them and ragdolls them. And now we're going on to the Aurora Essence. This is the E ability. Shoots down a giant like Aurora thing and it has stuff around you. This is the R ability. You can fly around with it. That was just like a test for me. Also with the R, you can actually hold it down to go faster and make it last a little bit longer. And this is the F ability. You go up in the sky, a giant sky around you, and it shoots stuff down. So if you by chance get hit by it, then it will do some damage to you. And now for the digital, I will have popped some screenshots up on the screen just because digital is a little bit complicated to show just with one person. First of all, this is the E ability. This one's pretty simple. Just shoots some stuff at you and also pop stuff up on your screen, which I will show. It's some minute things, but you can only get rid of it by pressing the X's on it, so it's very annoying for PvP. And now for the R ability. It basically shoots the same thing at you, and it gives you a little hacker pet around you that shoots them like 4 or 5 times before going away. And the F ability, which is also very annoying, a giant beam shoots up. The E ability is definitely the most annoying since that has a whole bunch of pop-ups on your screen. And now we're going on to the lunar essence, but this is the E ability. Basically shoots down a giant lunar beam at you and does some damage as long as you're in that circle. Also with the lunar beam, it actually follows your mouse and it'll follow you around as you move your mouse, so you can actually trace your enemy with it. And then this is the R ability. If you just press it once, it gives you a 40% defense, but it's actually based on the lunar moon cycle. So if you just press it down, it gives you 40% damage. Sorry, 40% defense. If you go to the second moon phase, it gives you damage plus defense, being 10% damage, 30% defense. And the third one I will show you, it goes all the way to the end. It does 30% more attack damage. And now for the F ability. If you do it, it'll create this giant thing which has a moon in the sky, which you then slam down on your opponent. It does damage all around this giant area of attack. This is definitely very OP. And now for Equinox, which is actually a fusion essence. This is the E ability. It shoots you up in the sky and hits your opponent while also dealing extra damage to your opponent after being hit also. So it has like honing shards. And it can also heal you. Plus I think it's just like a random percent chance. See, I just got health back. This is your move. You teleport at them and close them in and then have darkness spikes, the R ability in darkness. Where's that E? One of them. And this is the F ability. You jump up, combine light and dark together, slam down, and it does consistent damage while also inverting all the colors, which I will show on screen right now. Now we're going on to the Blizzard Essence. This is the E ability. Basically shoots freezing straws at you, just freezes you. And then this is the R ability. Basically you walk around and as long as you're close to them, it will freeze them immediately. Plus it gives you a defense buff. And then this is the F ability, like a giant spike that sends them in the air and stuns them, and it has some little area of attack around also. And now onto Frost Flame, which is another fusion. This is the E ability. It basically just does a whole bunch of like fire attacks, but since Frost Flame also freezes them. This is the R ability. You do have to hold it, but as long as you're near them, it will freeze them. Plus you get to move pretty fast. And then the F ability, a giant sword that attacks them. It goes sideways, up, down, and you jump towards them and slam the sword into them, which I'm pretty sure freezes them, and it also gives them the burning effect once again. And now last but not least for the legendary essences, this one's extremely cool. It's the Radiant Essence, and this is the E move. This is the first stage. Shoots at them, I missed, but it goes all the way over there. This is the second stage right there. Just shoots at them, has a little area of attack damage. First stage, second stage, and then third stage right there. Shoots at them, a giant blast, and even flings them into the air. And then this is the R ability. You run at them and do like giant area of attack, as you can tell by the little thing. And then this is the F ability. It's also held. The longer you hold it, the better. And it also traces after your mouse and does damage around you, but it lasts a decent amount of time, but then it'll go away after a little bit. And now into the time you have all been waiting for, the Divine Showcases. This is the E ability. I am a master at destruction. It's one of my favorite essences. You can use it. It's a giant basically fist going towards you with destruction that pushes you back decently far too. And then R, it actually lifts you up, the player up, stuns them, and it slams them down, and it ragdolls them for a couple of seconds. Destruction F has a giant area of attack. You call it, it attacks anywhere around there, and it slams down with a giant meteor, attacking anything in its sights. Now it's time for Cosmic, another essence I have not really used very much. The only divines I really name are Destruction and Time. Yes, some of those people will calm down, it's okay. This is the E ability. Basically just shoots down some cosmic blows at people. It's alright, it's kind of mid. People hate on Cosmic a lot. I think it's too much hate, if anything. This is the R ability. You get to fly around and basically chase after people. Once you get them in your cage, you go into an unknown galaxy and damage your opponent like that. And once they come back, it also has done a lot of damage, plus it flung him all the way over here. Now, this is the F ability. You can be held to do more damage. You send it out and then you press it again to blow up prematurely, and it does like a giant AoE. It's very big, maybe even about the size of Destruction. It also burns you for a little bit. And now for the Spatial Essence. This is the E ability. Pretty cool, and it even gives you this little orb, which then you can shoot out again, which does even more damage. It's pretty overpowered if you know how to use it. And then this is the R ability. You dash at them, and you can also use it again to dash back at them and do more damage. F has a giant area of attack, so I would recommend standing back and not putting this near any of your friends. This is the F ability. basically a giant cube which then slices them in half several times, as you can tell. And then when they spawn back in, they're actually missing a leg, so they can't move fast at all. As you can see, I'm racing my ult, and he's getting dusted, bro, because he's missing a leg. Now time for the next one. This is Star's Courage, which I don't think I've ever used as essence. I haven't used a lot of the divines because, you know, I'm not rich like that. I'm just getting my goat Sarcasm to help me with this. So once again, W Sarcasm for the help on this video. This is the E move. Choose down a giant Star Courage blast after your opponent. Does some little area of attack damage after. And this is the R ability. You slice at them and then you can press it again to make them slice again, which then they basically combine and spin you around to do more damage. And then this is the F ability. Basically a giant dome type thing, and then you I don't even know how to explain it. And now it's time for also one of my favorite essences, Time. It's very peak, just wait. Basically, make sure to stand decently far away because you can also hit yourself with this, which I'll showcase hitting me too. I wouldn't recommend it, but you hit and you have these little after frames, right? And if you use it, you can't wait too long, you get teleported back to wherever that after frame was. I recommend not hitting yourself. The R ability, you run really fast while also healing yourself, and you run into someone, they completely freeze, they can't do anything, they can't dodge this. This move, very overpowered. You press F, you run, the player tries to escape, but they're completely frozen. There's zero way of escaping, so you can do any attack for the next 7 or so seconds that it's there. But other than that, guys, this is the end of the video. Make sure to like, subscribe, massive shout out to Sarcasm for helping me with this video. Peace out, chat. Amazing night.